What is the problem with branding? Well, the problem is not enough people know about it. That's number one. But there's a few other problems I actually want to share with you within this particular video. And before you get stuck into it, please make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel, because I'm very aware I've got many viewers, which is absolutely brilliant. Now, with those many viewers, can you please go that one step forward and literally go ahead and subscribe to my channel as well? Because the minute I get to see all these numbers increasing and so forth, I know exactly what you're responding to, and equally I know actually how I can really help you. And that's one of my missions, is to help as many people as possible to understand not only that they are more than what they see, not only that representation, oh my goodness, does it matter, but equally to understand what branding can actually do to help elevate your awareness, build on the idea of who you are, and equally why it is that you really do what you're doing without losing yourself in the process. Now, I've helped a number of clients literally go from feeling like they're invisible to going and feeling like they can conquer the world within their industry, simply because I cover simple principles that will allow them to go and start talking about their business, start talking about their product, their service, what it is they do, how it is that they actually help people to go from one stage to the next, but the real thing that they do to help people. And folks, there's a lot of business owners out here, there's a lot of entrepreneurs out here, there's a lot of people out here who are claiming to say that they know it all, say that I've done everything, I've tried everything. But I want to stop that right here, right now, and just try this first before that you say you tried everything. So before you get stuck into the rest of this video, please make sure once again that you go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel. We're going to be talking about why, or even what is the problem with branding, even more so. I say we, me, that's who I mean. But at the same time, I'm going to be sharing with you some really cool aspects that maybe you haven't thought of. If you have thought about them, absolutely brilliant. There's always a good opportunity for having a really cool reminder, right? So stick around to the very end as well, because I've got an amazing opportunity that will help you to actually start taking action today rather than tomorrow, or even like a few years down the line, or whatever that may be. What I want to share with you at the end of this particular video is really key things that will help you just take yourself that one next step further. Now, without further ado, folks, let's get stuck into this. So as I said, we're going to be talking about what is the problem with branding. Now, as I said at the very beginning of this video, the problem is not enough people know about it. That's one big major problem. The number two problem with branding is the fact that because not many people know about it, they also don't understand it. So that means when they do get to have a little inkling as to what branding actually is, they're not getting to grips with branding properly. They're not quite understanding the magnitude as to what branding can be. They might touch base on a logo and a website and maybe some stationery and think, right, brand's done, all done, dusted, amazing, colors are done. They don't quite make sense to me, but it's all good, it's all good. And I'm wondering if that's something that you've even thought of yourself, right? However, let's backtrack a bit and let's start thinking about, if, for example, you understood that the magnitude that branding actually had, and actually how important it is to your business, to your awareness as an entrepreneur, or even just as a personal brand, if you understood the magnitude as to what it could actually do, you probably give it a hell of a lot more respect, or give it a lot more attention than what you're probably doing right now. And here's the reason why I'm saying this. Branding for you is a difference between you constantly feeling like you're silenced by all others who are doing something similar to yourself, or maybe you just feel like, do you know what, oh my gosh, they're doing it way better than me, and wait, that's my client, but why are they going to them over me? Versus you standing strong, you talking tall, if you like, talking out even more so, showing up as you, but in a way that's congruent to your beliefs, so much so that you're talking with certainty, so much so that you're talking with the attitude that you know that you have, because you know the talent that you have, because you know the delivery that you can have and equally give to your client, to that client that was potentially going to your competitor, or equally to that client who was about to go somewhere else but then saw you instead, all because you resonated with them by way of your message. That's the difference. Branding helps you to stand out as you, Branding helps you to be set apart from your competitors. And equally, on a side note, your competitors don't actually have to be a bad thing. Just hold that thought for a minute. Now, you're only going to know that because you would have sorted out your brand, and because you would have touched on aspects about your brand, because you would have covered things like your VPV, your vision, your purpose, and your values, or you would have covered things like what is your brand message, or what the core crux as to what it is that you're doing is really about. So take the time to know it, take the time to understand it, take the time to really get to grips as to what that is. And then before you know it, branding's not going to be a problem anymore. Branding is going to be one hell of a great asset for your business, for your brand awareness, for your personal brand awareness, or even your business brand awareness. And equally for your product or your service, you're going to get it even more because you're going to see it in a whole new light. And on top of that, you're also going to understand how you can start making better connections with the audience that you're actually wanting to work with. And the reason why I speak so passionately about it is because it's what's helped me. And that aside, yes, there are always going to be trials and errors with things that you do. However, with your brand, when you understand what that is, that's the one thing that you're going to make sure that will help you to steer in a more focused direction. You're moving with purpose. You're working towards something with purpose because you know what that goal is based on what you've established with your VPV, which is your vision, your purpose, and your values, right? So get to grips with that. Branding won't be a problem when you understand what that is. It's essentially helping you to build a solid foundation versus you actually building something on quicksand. Hold that thought. So folks, I'm going to leave it there. If you haven't come across my channel before, this is what I do. I deliver literally short, sharp, and very direct key points to help you to understand what branding is about. I don't want branding to be a problem for you. I don't want branding to be a problem for your business, for you as a personal brand, for you as an entrepreneur, for you as a business owner. I don't want branding to be a problem. I want it to be something that comes with ease to you. And it can only come with ease to you if you start wanting to understand it. So across my channel, you will always come across videos just like this that will help to educate you about different aspects about branding, what you can do with it branding, and equally who you can tap into to be able to help you with branding. Now myself as a branding specialist, hello, the clue is in the title, right? It's what I do, it's how I help my clients, and it's how I help others to make sure that they are more than what they see, to be able to understand that aspect, but equally to understand, and this is something for you as well, you are the example, you are the way forward. Regardless of what areas of expertise that you are hosting or that you are interpreting or that you are putting out there, you are an example of the way forward, meaning that you've done the do. And now there's somebody else out there who's wanting to understand how they can do it as well. But equally, there's also somebody else out there who knows that you can help them, all based on the idea that you've actually tackled your brand. One of the biggest problems is that not enough people know about the magnitude as to what branding can actually do. And the minute you start tackling or investing in the time to be able to understand what your brand can actually do for yourself is the minute that you start, as I said, showing up as you, showing up as the entity that you want to be, and equally showing up as or even building that awareness that you want others to be made aware of. So that's something to be really understood, folks. So I'm going to leave it there. I really hope that this video resonated with you. Please make sure that you go ahead and share it with others that you really feel that could do with a message like this, but equally to help them to understand that, you know what, branding will only be a problem if you don't invest in the branding, if you don't put the time towards the branding. And branding will also be a problem if you don't understand branding to begin with. So start here. Start here. And on that note, so that you can make sure that branding no longer is a problem for yourself, tap into these key principles. Remember, I said to you at the very beginning of this video, this is what I want to share with you. This is how you make sure that you start taking action today, not tomorrow, not a few years down the line. No, you can do it today, because the minute you tap on or even click on the link that's in the description box below, You will be asked to fill in a few details, but then you're actually going to be given some really key principles that will help you and your brand to start elevating in a way that you'll probably will look at it in a different kind of a light, and so will others, but in a light that's actually going to be super inspirational, super powerful, and super empowering to others who actually get to see you. And more importantly, that aside, you'll start building better connections, and you'll start building on a growth within your business to a magnitude that, you know what, actually now makes sense. It will make sense, because there's a lot of hitting and hoping out here, folks, and I want to make sure that you don't fall into that trap, and more importantly, that you start with your best foot forward, especially when it comes to your brand, so you can start building on that awareness that makes sense, that allows you to show up as you, and more importantly, that allows you to show up as you without losing yourself in the process. So go ahead and click on that link in the description box below, and that will be the first link, by the way, and literally fill in your details so that I can then go ahead and send you all that key information so you can get started today. And on that note, folks, once again, please make sure that you go ahead and like, subscribe to this channel, hit that little bell so you get reminded or even alerted as to when I go ahead and upload a new video, and I will see you on the other side.